Paul, I'm Propagandist, and welcome back to some more RWBY Volume 8 reactions. We're reacting to episode 8 today, Dark as it's called, which is totally not an ominous name for an episode at all. So, basically it's a Friday as I'm going to record this. My work for the day has kind of fizzled out. I've got it done, so I'm thinking still quite light out there. Might as well see if I can get some more RWBY recorded, especially since we're well and truly now into February, so it's really time that I got the remainder of Volume 8 done. So I'm planning, on recording at least one episode today. If I'm lucky, maybe two. We'll see how it goes. But like I say, it's a Friday, and I'm definitely thinking that tomorrow, when it gets to Saturday, I'll have more time, and I'll probably just have a recording session where I'll sit down and I'll try and see if I can get the remainder of this volume recorded and reacted to. So that's the plan for the time being. We'll see kind of how that goes. Couple of things just to say. Obviously, I'll provide like a summary of where we're at in the volume so far and all that. You'll probably notice in the background over my left shoulder there, you'll see my my friggin' computer chair in the background. I'm actually sat on a different chair. I pulled one out of my lounge because as you've seen, as you remember in the last episode, my chair was just. It was going all over the place. The central column, I think, is just screwed. It's really temperamental. Like sometimes it just stays normal, other times it just starts lowering, and I really don't want it lowering whilst I'm on camera because it means I'm constantly getting distracted every so often, which is not really good when you're trying to do a Let's Watch. So yeah, I've pulled another chair in and I'm sat on a completely different chair. This one won't lower. So hopefully I'll be consistently at the sort of at the right level throughout the video. But yeah, just that aside. So another interesting notice actually is it's something I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but it might be. It's just something I thought was kind of interesting. Is part of the fact that I've been able to upload these RWBY reaction videos on a daily schedule at the moment. Part of the reason I've been able to do that is just because. You know how when you, I mean, I say as though you guys know, I mean, you might not know this, considering you're not necessarily reactors, you're just my audience, but, you'll probably be aware. Of course, when you upload Let's Watch videos where you're using third-party content like this, it's often the case that as soon as your video uploads and it processes, you get an instant copyright block on it. Now, that used to be the case with when I was reacting to Volume 5 and then when I was reacting to Volume 6 as well. Whenever I uploaded my reaction episode, naturally, the first thing that would happen is, because it obviously contains Rooster Teeth content, the Content ID system on YouTube would flag it, and B, it would get an instant worldwide block. And so, that's pretty normal when you upload RWBY reaction videos, things like that, because obviously, third-party content and all that. So, often what you do in that situation is, because Rooster Teeth have some explicit content usage guidelines that say they are happy for reactors to post videos featuring their content, if it's, for non-commercial, non-profit use, things like that, then, what you can do is you can use YouTube's dispute system to basically appeal the block, and you can send a direct message to Rooster Teeth, basically explaining this is a fan project, under your own content usage guidelines, it's fine, and, in every case, Rooster Teeth will pretty much respond to that very promptly, and they will lift the block and let you basically publish your video. So that's always good. But you know what I've actually noticed? Like I said, when I did RWBY Volume 5 and RWBY Volume 6, every episode that I uploaded, I had to go through that appeal system just, to say, hey, Rooster Teeth, it's fine, I'm not profiting from this video, can you lift the block please? And they always would do, and they would always do it very promptly, which is good. But what I've noticed is that with Volume 7, for example, although the Content ID system did obviously identify that there was third-party content in the video, which means that technically I can't monetize videos, not that I would, because obviously I can't, it's third-party content. But what I noticed throughout Volume 7, for example, was that not a single one of my episodes actually got a block on it, which is curious. And so far, over the course of Volume 8, only 2 of my reaction videos actually got sort of blocked the moment I uploaded them. Obviously, I managed to get the blocks lifted, of course, because you've seen them by now. But I just thought it was interesting. Curious that, it applied that instant block on previous volumes, but not the last couple of volumes. I wonder why that is. I mean, I don't really know the ins and outs and the technical details of how YouTube's Content ID algorithm and how the the system actually works and what options it provides third-party content users with. But I don't know, I'd just be curious to know, for example, have Rooster Teeth, I don't know, do they have like a way of whitelisting reaction channels or something so that they don't just get instantly blocked in every case? So I'd be curious, you know, just as a kind of an anecdote, I'd be curious to know what the answer to that is. Is there a reason why actually the copyright restrictions on these, you know, Volume 7 and Volume 8 reaction videos of mine haven't been actually quite as stringent as they have been in the past? But, you know, in other news, you know, several episodes ago, I was also asking you viewers out there about, you know, the copyright status around Volume 9, because, you know, there've been a post that is from Boring Jeff over on Rooster Teeth's side, just about that. And, you know, special thanks obviously to any of you who have replied to that, basically saying things out. Some of you, I would imagine, may have noted that in the time since I actually posted those original, well, not, sorry, let me rephrase that. In the time since I originally recorded those episodes where I asked about the copyright status on Volume 9, and the time in which I actually record this, Boring Jeff actually did make another post in which he basically said, if you're a reactor and you want to react to Volume 9, that's absolutely fine, there shouldn't be a problem with it. So basically, as usual, if, you know, you're uploading reaction videos to Volume 9 and they get copyright flagged and blocked, as always, you should just be able to send a dispute through YouTube's appeal system direct to Rooster Teeth, and Rooster Teeth will basically lift the block for you. So yeah, that kind of clarifies that whole shebang. So, you know, that's not something necessarily for me to be worried about. So, you know, that's a further vote of confidence in the ability to do reactions to Volume 9 as and when it's airing. So, great stuff there. But like I say, you know, special thanks to any of you who might have posted responses to that. I'm going to thank you, you know, in advance. Like I say, I do block record these RWBY reaction videos way in advance of when I upload them, just so that, you know, it's just so that in case A, you know, videos do get copyright blocked, it's just that it allows for sufficient time for the block to be lifted before I'm going to publish it, and B, also because, you know, as I've said before, I have a job, obviously, outside of YouTube that takes a lot of my time, and as a result, opportunities to record, whenever they come up, I have to seize them, and I have to really, you know, capitalise on them, and so often I end up block recording stuff, just to make sure I've got plenty of content to keep me going in the meantime. Hence why, you know, I block record things. So, you know, like I say, as when I record this, I won't have seen any comments if anyone replied to my questions about, you know, what is the copyright status around Volume 9 and the ability to react to it. But, you know, since I posed those questions, there have been answers to it, which is great. So that's reassuring in that, on that front. So good stuff there. Sorry, I'm just like messing around fidgeting with my cup of tea. It's nice and warm. Right, that's a load of preamble about just other anecdotal stuff aside. So, in terms of where we're at in the volume, what happened last episode? Well, there are a few things really that stand out. So, Yang, Jean and Ren are going to try and infiltrate Salem's ship, which I'm just going to say right now, I don't think that's going to go too well. I'm very worried about what's going to happen with them. Particularly with, you know, Ren, for instance. It's just like, because obviously he's been having real doubts the last few episodes over the course of action that they're all taking. So yeah, I'm very concerned, basically. And thing is, I'm concerned not just in terms of what the outcome of Volume 8 is going to be. You know, the more I think about RWBY and its characters, the more concerned I get in terms of what's going to be the ultimate fate of a lot of our cast. Not necessarily by the end of Volume 8, but, you know, by the end of the franchise overall, you know, depending on how many volumes Rooster Teeth are planning to do. Because the thing about RWBY is, and sorry, this is going to really extend my preamble before the episode out, but, you know, if you're a religious watcher of, I mean, if you watch RWBY quite religiously, you know, you're a big fan of it and all that, you know, you probably are just as aware as I am of the fact that when it came to the characters and their design and their personalities and their sort of themes and things like that, you know, a lot of thought went into those, and a lot of the characters have allusions either to things like fairy tale figures or to mythological figures, historical figures, things like that. And, you know, based on our past experience, for example, of like Volume 3, ever since the things that went down in Volume 3, I've always been kind of worried, you know, about some of these characters by the end of RWBY. Are they going to be okay? You know, are they going to come out of this fine, or are they going to come out, well, you know, is their fate not going to be a particularly pleasant one by the end of it? And that's the thing, like, so, you know, the biggest example of that, of course, was Pyrrha in Volume 3. She, of course, is, well, loosely sort of inspired by Achilles from Greek myth. And, you know, Achilles, the big legend about him, always was the Achilles heel, his weak point, the thing that ultimately took him down. And, of course, that is actually what happened with Pyrrha in Volume 3 at the very end, spoiler alert. You know, she got shot by Cinder in the heel, which, well, rather in the ankle sort of area, which kind of basically incapacitated her, and then Cinder pretty much finished her off. Now, of course, the other members, for example, of Team Juniper, you know, they're all allusions to either mythological or historical figures, Jeanne d'Arc being the most obvious, Joan of Arc. And the thing that I'm always worried about with him, for example, is because if you know anything about Joan of Arc, the real-life figure, she did not have a particularly good ending in life. She was basically captured by her enemy and burnt at the stake for witchcraft. So, yeah, Jeanne d'Arc is a character who, you know, we all love him, but that doesn't stop us, I think, being worried about what his ultimate fate in this franchise is going to be. And similarly, you know, like Nora, for instance, obviously, you know, she's loosely based on and I said the Greek, not the Greek, the ancient Norse god Thor, the thunder god. And of course, if you know anything about Thor, it's that in Norse mythology, come Ragnarok, Armageddon and all that, he died in the final battle against, I think it was the serpent, wasn't it, Jormungandr? He was like overcome by the serpent's venom or something like that. So, you know, when you read things like that, you can't help but feel worried that characters like Jeanne and Nora, are they going to have, you know, are they going to be alright in the grand scheme of things, or is just bad stuff going to happen to them? But, you know, I mean, technically Nora's already had something bad happen to her. When she was trying to escape that one room in the Atlas military base a few episodes ago. You know, she really kind of overcharged herself on the electricity and is currently bedridden in the Schnee mansion. So, you know, but anything else could happen at this point. And similarly, the main characters in Team RWBY, I am worried about, you know, what sort of things might happen to them in the long run. Because again, if you look at the characters who they are allusions to, some of those characters didn't have a good time in their respective fairy tales. So, for example, like Weiss, for instance, she's obviously Snow White, and you know, the fairy tale with Snow White says that eventually something might happen to her, because in the fairy tale with Snow White, she bites into the poison apple and falls into basically a coma, from which she's only awoken, I believe, by the kiss of her true love, the prince and all that. So, you know, whilst obviously Rooster Teeth aren't necessarily going to go for like a direct parallel to the fairy tale character that, you know, White is necessarily based off, it does make you worry that, you know, that inspiration might be foreshadowing of something that could happen later down the line, something bad potentially. Similarly with RWBY, being based on Red Riding Hood, like in the original Grimm's fairy tales and all that, Red Riding Hood and her grandmother did not have a good time in terms of the wolf really messed with them. And ultimately, I mean, I don't know what the true version of the Red Riding Hood story actually is, in terms of, is it the case that Red Riding Hood does survive in the end, or because I feel like I've read and I've heard of old variations of the story where Red Riding Hood and the grandma don't even survive the story. They just get eaten by the wolf, and then eventually the woodcutter, whoever it is, comes along and basically discovers everything that's happened. So I don't know. God, I'm just looking at the clock on my screen. This preamble is turning out to be way longer even than the previous one. We're at like, what, 14 minutes and 10 seconds-ish so far? Good lord, I'll have to try and keep this a bit shorter. Once again, I'll have to try and put a timestamp at the start of this video just to say the reaction itself begins at such and such a time. So yeah, like I said, basically, you know, between episodes I've just been thinking about that question of the inspirations for the characters in RWBY, the themes that might be sort of foreshadowing and entailing, and therefore what that might mean for the fate of these characters. And yeah, I'm worried, I am concerned, because the thing about RWBY is all of its characters are very likeable, and you know, you get very attached to them. Certainly I'm very attached to a lot of the characters, namely, you know, the main 4 Team RWBY characters, as well as some of the others along the sides. And so naturally, I get very tense when I think about this question of, where might they end up? And yeah, that's why I'm concerned. So, yeah, I mean, sorry, this preamble is now over the 15-minute mark, so it's taking way longer than I thought it would. Just one other quick point based on what happened in the last episode. Now, this is something that I didn't sort of explicitly comment on at the time that it happened in episode 7, but needless to say, it did provoke quite an emotional reaction. I just didn't really show it, and I did actually point it out and highlight it in like a caption on the screen. The moment when Klein showed up again at the Schnee mansion was actually not heartbreaking, that's the wrong word, more just sort of heart-melting, because it's one of the many reasons why Weiss is one of my favourite characters, just the way she reacted to his reappearance, how she got quite emotional, and she was very sort of guilty, because she felt, you know, responsible for him being let go. But at the same time, it was just good to see Klein come back, and, you know, I think the relationship between Weiss and Klein is something that I would love to see explored, because I feel like Klein in many ways might have been more of a father to Weiss, an actual caring, loving, doting father than Jacques Schnee ever was, and that really is quite sad, isn't it? So yeah, that's just something I wanted to point out. It was a very heart-melting moment, but like I said, I didn't really show it on camera because I was trying to hold it together. Because you know, but needless to say, there are moments throughout RWBY where I do feel my heartstrings being absolutely tugged, and you know, I just sometimes I am the sort of person who sometimes is good at maintaining a bit of a poker face and not really showing too much, which, you know, actually I shouldn't really do in a reaction video, should I? I should be much more open, because that's precisely what you're really here for. So yeah, just made a mental note of that to myself. Right, come on, we're coming up to the 17-minute mark here in terms of preamble. This is probably the longest preamble I've ever done to an episode. Right, let's get to the episode itself. Right, we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. There we are. Alright, got my cup of tea. Right, let's get straight into the thick of things. So the thumbnail for this had Weiss's mother, so I feel like she's going to come back in. We might get more development of Whitley potentially as well, which will be interesting. Ah, we've not seen you for a while.
Yep. Not getting much sleep here either. Sounds bad out there.
Just checking my camera, make sure it's not moved. Yeah, whatever it is, it's bad. Ooh. Wait a minute. Is it Raven? Is Raven coming back? God, we've not seen Raven for a while. Is that what that was? Huh.
No need to worry, miss. You and your friend are going to be just fine.
There you are.
She lost consciousness, and she's leaking.
Set her down, set her down.
Sport your waistcoat. And
Can you help her?
Your outfits as well, I guess.
Even based on what you've told me, I hardly know what she is. But her basic anatomy seems similar enough. I can at least stitch up that wound.
Ooh, the power's out.
That's just rich.
Everyone okay back there? Just saw another bombing run light up the kingdom.
Looks like part of the city lost power. We're okay though.
Sorry I couldn't stick around, but time's running out for everyone in the crater.
No, we're sorry. Once we know what's wrong with Penny, we'll do something.
Don't beat yourself up, kid.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know how much is left to be done.
Said it before, I'll say it again. It's an unenviable situation. It's a horrible situation. Yeah, exactly that.
Grim, the crater, Nora, Penny. How do we fix all of it?
Well, the answer is
One step at a time, my dear.
there's no easy answer.
You can't worry about fixing everything. Simply focus on what's in front of you. If you'd like someplace to start, I'd be able to work faster if you could bring the power back on.
Well, how would
We have a generator near the edge of the estate.
There you are. Still drinking.
So kind of you to join us, Mother.
Believe it or not, I am above drinking in the dark. Oh. Hello, Klein.
SDC executives have their own auxiliary power supplies, in case of a citywide blackout. It's extremely unfair, but perhaps now isn't such a bad time for company perks.
We don't just have perks.
Hmm?
We have the company. The people you mentioned in the crater. They need a way out, right? There are rows and rows of cargo ships just sitting in the hangars because of the embargo.
And our own automated drones, like the ones at Snowshoe Shipping.
We can order as many as we need to pilot our ships
Oh,
down to the
Whitley.
crater and get people to safety, while the Grim are occupied with the General's
Yeah,
forces.
and some sudden
can?
growth here.
I can.
I like it.
I just need Father's computer.
Then we definitely need to get the power back on.
There you go. Yeah, Whitley. Whitley might actually really grow as a character this volume. Is he actually going to make his way into my good books? He might actually do it. Come on, Whitley, I'm willing to give you a chance. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, come on, come on.
Don't worry. It'll work.
Nothing else has.
Yeah.
I know you don't always know what to do, but that's never stopped you from doing something. I was like that
true.
as a girl, but time and a lot of other things took their toll on me. And then I wasn't sure if that kind of girl could actually survive in the world. Until I met you. It was a little strange at first because you were younger, but I've always looked up to you, Ruby. And I still do.
Oh,
Thanks, Blake.
God, supportive Blake is just the MVP, isn't she? She's been so supportive over the last couple of volumes. It's been great. She's really grown, Blake, as well. But oh, okay. Turn around.
What was that?
Something monstrous.
Ruby! Blake!
Weiss, there's a Grim that... Look out!
Look out! What? Oh God.
Can you handle this?
Assuming you can handle that.
We still need to work on your attitude.
Well, he's going in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's a big boy. Oh, we've seen that type before, haven't we?
What is this thing?
It's just a Grim. Just focus.
Can she do the silver eye ability now? Oh God. Oh God. Wow. Okay, it's not just a regular Grim. Oh, it's of course one of these ones. Oh no, don't. Don't tell me Ruby's gonna get captured as well.
Climb! There's a Grim here, and others might be nearby. Keep everyone together and call if there's trouble.
Of course. Madam, please try to calm yourself.
Oh.
I can't do this. I can't do this.
Willow, please come back.
Willow, is that her? Penny, are you okay?
Try not to...
Ooh. Yeah, she's been completely
Not again!
hijacked. Yeah, he's drawing more of them. Oh, hell.
It's not here for me! It's here for Penny!
Oh, okay. Oh, Penny. Penny.
I got her.
Ruby, even. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, no. Is Ruby going to come out of this volume unscathed? I have no idea.
You're okay. Please!
I don't want to do it! Hey,
She's being hacked, but she's trying to resist. Nora.
no one's gonna make you do anything you don't want to do. But
Hmm.
there is a part of me.
Oh, God.
It's making me. It's just a part of you. don't forget about the rest.
So when her eyes light up like that, that's presumably what's his
Klein,
virus or whatever.
Stay quiet. I'm on my
Trying
way.
to take control.
Don't hurry. Ridley and Willow have yet to return.
What? Where'd Mom go?
Oh god, what are you doing? Leave the alcohol. Oh boy. It's gonna smell the fluid or whatever it is. Where's Blake?
Above you!
What?
Oh god. Oh jeez. Okay. Right, your aura's instantly down. It's not interested in you. Just wanted you out of the way.
Mom?
Huh.
I can see it.
Ah.
It's outside Winter's old room. You can kill it, can't you?
What is it doing?
I'm not sure. It's acting strange. Why
It's an
is it
intelligent
here?
Grim.
It doesn't matter.
Just keep an eye on it so I can track it down.
Right.
Right. Okay. It's moving again, heading towards. Oh dear no.
I can do this. I can.
Is he going for Whitley?
You are the last thing I need.
No,
That's
dude,
what it should be.
listen. Oh my god, is he gonna die? Oh shit. Yeah, just hide there. Try and mask your negative emotions, I guess. Oh. Would they kill him off just as soon as he starts? Don't look.
Credentials verified. Click to proceed.
Oh boy. You might need to move, Whitley.
I know.
Yeah. It's an intelligent one, like that other one. There you go, use your summon.
Thank you.
Get out of there. Oh, Weiss, where are you? You're needed. Yeah, I didn't slow it down. Oh, God. Thank God for ice powers.
I didn't forget you.
Go!
So here's where Blake is.
Disgusting!
Yeah, they're... Oh, no.
I don't know if you can hear me. But I need you, Ruby. We all need you.
Ugh. Oh! Oh, oh. Oof. Thank God for that semblance. God, they're not doing well here.
Please. Get up.
She got up. Oh, thank God. Jesus. My heart can't take this.
I could hear you.
You gotta get inside. What? What?
It's coming!
Was that Penny we heard screaming then? Oh God. Well. God, she's just full on robotic now. Is Penny going to survive this volume, or is she going to end up dying again? That's the question.
What are you doing?
I must open the vault. And then self-terminate.
No. Oh boy. Oh. Oh. Stop.
Penny!
enough.
Silver Eyes, come on. Yes! Oh, there you go. That was the exact time we needed that power. Is she alright? Did you kill it, though? It just sort of flew out the window. Of course it's not.
Take the girl.
What?
Take the girl.
What?
Take the girl. Take the girl. Take the girl. Take.
Well, that's nightmare fuel. Are they going to push something on it? Yeah. Oh boy. Right, well, gotta take some tea after that. So what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen?
What was that?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
A person.
What does that mean? Why are they people? Does that mean the Grimm, who've been killing all along? They're people? What? This is just... Oh. What are you doing?
This may be the first time I've ever been happy to see you.
Cinder!
It wasn't Raven.
What are you...
It's my turn to ask for something.
Take him out. Yeah. That's not gonna work. Wow. Too slow, boys. Holy moly. Holy moly, there was a lot to take in there in that episode. Right, okay, I'm gonna need a moment just to digest what happened there. Because that scene with that talking Grimm, and it was a person, that has so many fucking ramifications. Sorry for the strong language, but, you know, I am friggin' just... I'm trying to process what just went on there. Right, 1 second, everybody. Why are they people? What's that all about? Well, that's a new twist. Right, so, what does that mean? Does it mean that Grimm are, I don't know, like, created, I don't know, from the souls of dead people or something? Is that what's going on? I don't know. I'm trying to speculate, hypothesize. I mean, that's the first time we've ever seen something like that. So, I mean, there's probably something really that's going to get explained later on, if not this volume, probably in a future one. But holy moly. So, I mean, again, we've always heard how Grimm can become intelligent over time if they survive long enough. And, you know, we've had talking ones before in this volume, we had one earlier, but what does this mean? What are the implications of this? So, when it was kind of lurching towards Ruby and company there, as they were trying to take Penny away, it was sort of saying, take the girl, take the girl. Who was that addressed at, though? Was it just sort of talking to itself, as in repeating instructions that it had been given? Or was that something like, maybe it was telling Ruby and company, take the girl, as though there was some aspect of it that was trying to fight back against its own nature, kind of? If that makes sense. Right, so, yeah, that is huge. That is massive. That is just a massive reveal to have in this episode. That is fascinating. I can't really say anything more about it, because obviously that's the first time we've seen it. We don't have any other information to go on, so anything I say at this stage is just going to be speculative. Wow. So, God knows. Maybe it's like, I don't know, the soul of like a past victim that Grimm has killed, maybe, or who knows? Or maybe like, because that's the thing. It's like, that's the question actually. How are the Grimm formed? How are they born? Has I don't know. Has Ruby ever told us an answer to that? Because we've seen Salem obviously making Grimm before, and we've seen obviously like in the Land of Darkness, like the black pools where the monsters come out of. But what exactly is that substance, and where does it come from? How is it formed? What is it made of? Questions like that. So, holy crap, I'm on the verge of I think we're on the verge of a kind of precipice here, and we're looking down into into just a massive expanse of questions, to put it that way. Wow. So that's the big thing from this episode to take away from that. But you know, other stuff there. So Penny is basically now under Watts' control. Watts has been broken out of the prison. I thought maybe it was Raven, but having said that, maybe that bird that we saw, maybe that was actually just Crow transforming into bird form to avoid the explosion, perhaps. But that raises the question: what about you know, Robin Hill? Is she okay? And what about obviously old Papa Schnee? Is he going to get out? Is he okay? Has he survived that? Who knows? And you know, speaking of the Schnees, this episode did more for Whitley. It did. So, you know, Whitley, I'm seeing him in a new light now, and I'm kind of glad that we are. I'm glad that he's not just being left as this sort of two-dimensional, you know, slightly sort of schmoozy kind of character, but he's actually growing now and changing, which is good. And, you know, Weiss's mother got to come back as well and have a sort of a slight moment in the, a slight moment to shine as well, which was pretty awesome. God, yeah, there's a lot. So we didn't see anything of Yang, Jean, and Ren, but I will imagine that they're, you know, we're going to see more of them perhaps in the next episode. I would guess. You know, I didn't actually mention this in my preamble at the start, but potentially next episode as well, we might also get more with some of the villains. So perhaps Hazel, perhaps Emerald as well. Given that, you know, those two at least certainly seem to be being exposed to questions that may shake, potentially, their entire faith in Salem. So we'll see. That might be something that crops up next episode, or if not next episode, perhaps later in the volume. We don't know. So, wow. I mean, we are officially way beyond the, well, not way beyond, but we are definitely beyond the halfway point of the volume now. So, man, not much else for me to say. I think we'll probably wrap this episode up here. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, like I say, from here on out, if there are emotional moments, you know what? I'm going to try and avoid being my usual sort of poker face self. I'll just say what's on my mind and try and give a clue. Because at the end of the day, otherwise it's not much of a reaction video, is it? So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and hope you'll join me for the next part. As usual, just the usual outro spiel. So if you're not aware, Propagandist is my second channel. My main channel is General Red Strategist, link in the video description. I do a lot of kind of gaming content over there. If that's the kind of thing you're into, then you know, it might be worth having a look. You never know, you might find something over there. So other than that, I'm going to sign off now. Goodbye, everybody.